So to configure outputs in RPS, over here we have outputs. Now the panel has 3 onboard outputs. And it's not probably totally rare that the only output you have on the system is the horn or siren or whatever that's going off when there's an alarm. And that's already programmed. You have an output 1, 2, and 3 on the panel. By default, output 1 is set up to activate on an alarm. The output 1 out of the box is configured to be a wet output. So there's power through there. So you can wire that siren to output 1 on the panel. Just got to set it normally open or normally closed. And anytime there's an alarm, it'll activate output 1. That's what we see here. So again, if that's the only output you have, all you got to do is wire the siren there, and it's going to activate output 1 when there's an alarm. So it just adds 12 volts when it's activated. Output 3 is by default set up for reset sensors. So if this was a fire alarm or any device that required a reset, and go to output 3. In that case, when you activate output 3, it drops 12 volts, reset the device. Now on output assignments, this is where you could configure other outputs. Again, with the we could be using one of the outputs on the panel if we weren't using output 2 or 3. We could also be using an octo output module to expand outputs off the system. Again, you just set octo output as the source for the ones you're using. And again, in our custom functions, we had output 11 and 12 for the lighting control. So those could be configured just with a source and a name, and they're being triggered by that custom function. Wouldn't have to do any additional configuration with them. But then if I had another output module, and this is where I could name it. In this case, maybe I have and we're going to be back in the stock room doing inventory. When I have the front of the store armed while we're back there doing that, so I could have this light lit up in the stock room, reminding us that area 1 is armed. To make sure we disarm it before we go back in there. So there's a couple ways to go about this. There's the traditional configuration, or something new they've come out with in the last few years is an output profile. Most cases, it doesn't matter which way you do, whichever way you like better, whichever way you can remember. I'll show you both ways. Now, I mentioned earlier the F1 key, really helpful. Any place you select an F1, give instructions specific to where you select it to. And they've started to, we have a YouTube channel with a number of different programming tutorials, wiring tutorials. And they've started to link those videos throughout with that F1 key. And this is one place. I hit F1 on the output profile. It gives me a link to YouTube. And that would show me how to configure outputs with a profile or the traditional way. I'll also show you this here. So the traditional way, if I just went over to the left to area-wide outputs, where we saw earlier, well, you see here each column is a different area, and then each row is an event you can have trigger an output when it happens in one of these areas. So doing it this way, you're just putting in the output number you want to activate when these events occur. So the application is we want to activate the stockroom LED output 11 when area 1 is armed. All I do here is put an 11. Now it would activate output 11 when area 1 is armed. So that's the traditional way.